South Jamaica, baby, they made me to be the greatest. Serving the deed of my creators. Fresh off of my high haters. It's the king again. Magdalene, chauffeured, bragging and boasting.
YouTube is your boy Dollars, and I want to talk about this article I seen on screenrant. And basically, it's saying that the Resident Evil TV series will not take place in Raccoon City. Also, Netflix is coming up with a new Resident Evil show. I don't know when it's supposed to drop, but I'm very excited to see it. I love Resident Evil. I'm a fan of anything Resident Evil. If it's the video games, movies, I love it. I don't care how bad the movies are. I still love it. So the fact that Netflix is even working on a new Resident Evil TV show, that's awesome. So let's just read this article and see what details they are talking about. The plot details for Netflix's upcoming Resident Evil show were reportedly posted, then removed yesterday, revealing the show's new location. The first details of Netflix's upcoming Resident Evil show has surfaced online, and although they disappeared almost as quickly, fans were able to retain access to them via the internet's Wayback Machine. Fans have been aware of Netflix's proposed Resident Evil adaptation for over a year now, but there has been little word from either Capcom or the streaming service about the production. Although the Resident Evil series has seen drastic fluctuations in fan reception to their titles, the most recent remake of Resident Evil 2 was considered by many to be one of the best games the franchise has ever produced. Yes, that's true. And Capcom's last all-new title, Resident Evil 7, was well received despite the switch from the series' long-used third-person perspective. Many players are also quite fond of the Resident Evil movie franchise, right here, which spans 6 films and stars Mila Jovovich. Fans have been eagerly awaiting any news on the upcoming Resident Evil Netflix television show adaptation, and recently actions by the company could suggest an announcement is coming soon. As shared by user RE_wiki on Twitter and easily confirmed by using the Wayback Machine, it looks as if Netflix's Resident Evil show won't be taking place in Raccoon City at all, but instead will be set in the town of Clearfield, Maryland. These plot details were reportedly uploaded to Netflix's website, then removed shortly thereafter, suggesting that it was perhaps just wasn't quite the time to make a formal announcement yet. The user goes to suggest that fans take the news with a grain of salt, as the information was received secondhand and apparently was first discovered by @Resident Evil DB. However, the Resident Evil TV show's description placement on Netflix's site does lend an air of credibility to the information, even without an actual confirmation from the company themselves. Okay. Until such a confirmation does come, fans can only speculate. How much pull does the Umbrella Corporation have in Washington, D.C.? Will the T-Virus perfume make a return? Viewers will have to wait to find out the answers to these questions. But hopefully by setting the upcoming Netflix's Resident Evil TV series somewhere other than the Raccoon, the creators can avoid rehashing the same zombie outbreak plots players have seen millions of times by now. Alright, well, we don't know if this is a true rumor or not. We don't know how accurate this source is, but I mean, it doesn't bother me where they do the setting, you know. I mean, if it's depending what storyline they're doing, because if it's in Raccoon City, then it would have to probably be a prequel, you know, like before the outbreak, and then the outbreak happens. Or, I mean, we don't know what kind of characters we're gonna have. We don't know if it's gonna be focused on police officers, stars, Umbrella. So I mean, they could go anywhere with this series. So I'm hoping that when they make the movies again, because they eventually gonna make another Resident Evil movie, I'm hoping that they actually take it into less video gamey aspects and try to make it more horror and scary, but also have some of the lore from the Resident Evil games, but just make the movies more like scarier and realistic. You know, you could still have your little action in there, but just make it in a way that is scary. And I think Zack Snyder would be the great producer for a Resident Evil movie, because he did work on Dawn of the Dead, the remake that came out in 2005 or 4, I believe. And that was an awesome horror movie. And yes, it is a remake, but it was awesome. Like, It was just scary, and the zombies look cool, and the action in it was dope, and the tension and the settings that these characters found themselves in. I felt that was great, and I think he would make a great director for a Resident Evil movie. But the fact that Netflix is even doing a Resident Evil TV show, I'm all aboard for it. Netflix has been producing quality content. They have some great shows. They got some good original movies. So Netflix is becoming a powerhouse in the streaming service. I'm not going to say becoming. They're already a powerhouse. But as far as original content that Netflix themselves are creating, they're doing a good job. And, you know, the fact that they could get their hands on a Resident Evil property, let's see what they do. You know, I'm excited. So I'm just hoping that just like the Resident Evil 2 remake game, they could capture that atmosphere and the horror elements of that game, and just in the tension in the setting, because that's what makes Resident Evil great. Yeah, it's a zombie game, you know, and there's a lot of zombie properties out there, but Resident Evil is special. You know, the games, you know, I grew up with them, I love them. So what makes Resident Evil unique is the setting. Raccoon City, that's a dope setting, you know. So I mean, even if they don't go to Raccoon City, at least show what's happening in Raccoon City, what happened in Raccoon City. Raccoon City is going to be connected regardless wherever they at in the show. My whole thing is, if they're not in Raccoon City, then the zombie plague already spread it, and they just survivors find themselves in another city. I mean, who knows? But we don't even know if this is true or not. So I just wanted to read this article and leave some discussion on it. You guys, let me know what you think they're going to do with this TV show. And are you excited for a Resident Evil Netflix show? Let me know down below in the comments section. And what ideas would you like to see implemented in the show? And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It's your boy Dollars. I'm out.